What's up, Cosorians? Chef Mia here. Today we'll be air frying char siu in the air fryer. Blah! I am so mind blown because I didn't know we could make char siu in the air fryer. And it's so delicious and so fun, so quick and easy, and I'm just so excited to get started. Do you want to become a Cosorian? Hit the subscribe button and join our community. Also, hit the bell icon so you can watch our new videos released every Thursday. Alrighty, we've got everything already measured out for you. What we're gonna start with is the 2 pounds of pork butt. That's just the name of the cut for the pork shoulder. And you really want to be able to cut it thin, about a 1/2 inch, and then thickness. And then you want it to cut, it depends on the size of your pork. Normally it would be between like 1 to 2 inches, but sometimes the pork shoulder pieces are bigger. So what I have today is going to be between 3 to 4 inches, and we're just going to cut it. So when you get your piece, you want to make sure to pat it dry with paper towels, and then you're gonna find the best angle to cut it so that you can have the perfect size char siu. And char siu in Cantonese actually is lacquered pork. So it's a type of Chinese barbecue called sao la, and that just means like it's like smoked but in a vertical box, and then they put a lot of time basting it so it gets super shiny and gets that coloring. And we will be using a little bit of red food coloring today, so it gets that classic sao la shop like color of the char siu, and the smell is gonna be so good in your kitchen. People are gonna be like, what are you making? Okay, so you're just gonna take your chef's knives and we're gonna go directly with the grain, and you're just gonna slice down. That's great. You can do thicker cuts if you want to, but I find that in the air fryer, it's best if you stick between about a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch thick. Oops. Yeah. We're just gonna go ahead and finish cutting all of these, and then we'll be placing them into a Ziploc bag and then adding the marinade in. And it's a really simple process. We're going to make that marinade really fast with a bunch of really yummy ingredients, and then you're gonna put it into your fridge to let it marinate for 2 days. And then when you cook in the air fryer, so fast, just 2 batches for 12 minutes each, and you have like restaurant quality char siu, and it's really good. So now that you have your pieces, some of them are going to be like too wide. So what you want to do actually is gonna just find those wide pieces and slice them in half. And then you'll get that classic sao la shop style of the size and thickness of each piece of pork. Because when they do take that big slab off of the hook in the stores, they'll place the entire thing right in front of you and slice it for you. So we're kind of emulating that, but at a home cook standpoint, you wanna prepare all the right shapes and sizes first so that you're minimizing your work later for when you're ready to cook the pieces of pork. Alrighty, so we're just gonna place the 2 pounds of pork butt, again, that's just pork shoulder, into the Ziploc bag. And then we're gonna move right ahead to the marinade. Awesome, for our marinade today, we're going to be starting off with something a little bit different. It smells kind of funky, kind of pungent, but I promise you it's delicious. It's known as red fermented bean curd. Bean curd is just made from soybeans, and it is fermented, like pickled, almost like a kimchi, and they use red yeast. That's why the coloring is red, and this will provide that classic red color you see in char siu. However, to also achieve an even brighter red like you see in stores, we will be adding a little bit of red food gel coloring. You can just dip a toothpick into it and then swirl it around in the marinade to get all that coloring off, and then you're all set to go. And just so you know what that red bean curd looks like, it usually comes in a can like this. And you don't have to use a specific brand, and it will be also in English. It's going to say red fermented bean curd, and it will say, the difference is that there are going to be different flavors in the store, but you want the one that's the original flavor, and it just says that it's going to be in dressing with red yeast rice. Okay, so we're gonna be doing that. You're gonna take 2 cubes of that. Then you're going to add in 3 teaspoons of the juice that's in the can. That also just provides extra flavor and extra coloring for our pork. Then you're going to take, this is about 2 tablespoons of honey. I'm gonna add that directly into the bowl. 4 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of Chinese 5-spice powder. And 5-spice powder is literally the name. There's 5 spices grinded into a powder. And it's usually things like star anise, coriander, clove, bay leaves, and etc. And then we have a 1/4 teaspoon of ground white pepper, 1 tablespoon of Chinese rice cooking wine. You can use the Shaoxing style, which is the most traditional style. It's got a bit more savory notes to it. And you're gonna take 2 cloves of garlic and mince it, add it directly to your marinade mixture. 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce. And 2 tablespoons of hoisin sauce. You can use the vegetarian version or the normal version. Vegetarian version is just made with portobello mushrooms and other enoki mushrooms and shiitake mushrooms, while the normal one, hoisin in Cantonese means seafood. So, and in Mandarin it's haixian jiang, which is just seafood sauce. So there will be like anchovies and stuff in the normal one versus the vegetarian one. They taste exactly the same. So now that we have everything together, we're just gonna scrape everything off with a whisk and then mix everything all together. So look at this, after you have everything mixed together, this is when I would say you can add your red gel food coloring. I'm not doing it today because I want you to know that it's absolutely optional. Your meat is still going to turn out nice and red, but if you want that bright red like you see in the stores, definitely use the no taste red food gel coloring. Just dip a toothpick directly into the center and then mix it into your marinade. And now that this is done, we're gonna make the basting liquid that you will be using when we're air frying the pork. So this is going to be 3 tablespoons of honey. You're going to add 2 teaspoons of water to the honey. And then from the marinade, before it touches the raw pork, you're gonna take 4 tablespoons of the marinade liquid. And the reason why you wanna save this for the basting before it touches the pork is so that you're not going to be using raw pork liquid into your basting. Because remember, when you're basting meat, that means the pork has already been cooking and you don't want to cause any cross-contamination and develop any foodborne illnesses from this transference of the raw pork with the raw marinade into your basting liquid. Alrighty, so just to reiterate again, that was 2 teaspoons of water, 3 tablespoons of honey, and 4 tablespoons of your marinade. And so you're just going to give your basting marinade a quick mix until it all comes together, and then you're gonna leave it off to the side. And now for those of you doing at home, you definitely want to reserve that 4 tablespoons of marinade liquid for the actual day you'll be cooking. But since I've already got it marinated for us, we're just gonna do a quick swap and go right to the air fryer. So we're gonna set aside the basting liquid. And then when you are preparing this at home, it's really easy to just put all the sliced pork in a Ziploc bag. If you have some food grade gloves for you at home, please use them so your hands won't smell like garlic and red fermented bean curd for a couple of days. Take your marinade liquid and just dump it into the bag. Super easy. And then you're just going to mix all the pork while it's in the bag. Simple cleanup like that. And I like using the bag trick because before you get rid of all the air in the bag, you can just go in like this and just really massage all that flavor into the meat, into the pork. And this way you ensure that every crevice of the sliced pork pieces will be covered and submerged in the marinade. So now that that's covered, you're gonna squeeze most of the air out of the Ziploc bag, zip it up like so. And I just like to flatten it out so you can see that everything is evenly coated. And then when you are leaving it in your fridge, choose one side to leave for 1 day, and then the next day, give it a nice mix again. Flip it over to the other side and let it marinate for the last day. All right, we're gonna reset a little bit and then go right into the air fryer. All right, awesome. So the preheat on the air fryer just beeped, so it just finished preheating at 400 degrees. And now we're going to open this delicious pork. It's gonna be really nice. Got some handy dandy gloves here because I don't want to get it everywhere. And I did split my first batch into 2 bags because it was a little bit bigger. So this is still 2 pounds of pork. So I just put them in 2 bags instead of 1. And you're just going to, I like to fluff it a little bit just so it takes like less of the liquid out instead of dumping it out. And I did leave this out to come up to room temperature while it was preheating, because you don't want very cold pork going into the oven. It's not going to cook evenly, especially from straight out of the fridge. So make sure you bring it up to room temperature. Okay, so we're gonna start off with this half of it first. You will be completing this in 2 batches. It can get a little messy, but don't worry, we always have paper towels and kitchen towels, so that's not gonna be an issue. Just gonna put that there for now. Oh, paper towels. Okay, and then remember that basting liquid we made a little while ago? This is where it comes in handy. I'm gonna open the air fryer basket. And then we're just going to lay it down into the preheated basket. You want to give it a little bit of spray just to help it not stick to the pan, to the air fryer basket. And then you can just use chopsticks or a fork, but I just like using a glove so I have more control in placing the pork into the basket to ensure everything fits. So we're going to take each piece and just lay it into the basket. And you can decide which way fits for you. I'm going to do it vertically, so each piece is going to be into the basket like this, so that it fits nicely and all of my pieces fit in here. So as you can see right now, you can fit a few more pieces in. You don't want to overcrowd the pan. I am putting them vertically just because I think it'll fit better. And then for this half of the pan, you're gonna put it horizontally, like this. If they touch a little bit, that's okay, but you also want to make sure that they're not overlapping. So for lacquered barbecue, it's important that they're not overlapping, because once it starts cooking and you start giving those layers of basting, it's gonna become really sticky and it's gonna stick all together. So this is the amount I would put in per basket. And you will be able to finish this in 2 batches, and if not, because it's cut a little bit more and the pieces are a little bit too big, you could always do it in 3 batches. Every batch is gonna be 12 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and insert into the air fryer now. And here we are. Adjust your air fryer to 400. Lower that cooking time to 12 minutes and hit the shake button. When it beeps halfway through, you're going to remove the basket and put the first layer of basting on. And here we go. The shake notification just went off, so we're going to remove it from the air fryer and get that first basted coat on there. Ooh, it's looking really good, you guys. It smells so good. Look at that. And then we're just gonna take the basting liquid, brush it evenly over all the pieces. I'm gonna flip it and baste it again on the other side so everything is evenly coated. And because we have honey and sugar in the basting liquid and the marinade, it's going to help achieve that nice char on the pork that you're looking for. And it's gonna emulate that barbecue flavor. It's gonna be very smoky and as if we cooked it over a charcoal grill almost, without the charcoal flavor. Awesome. We're gonna put it back into the air fryer now and let it finish cooking for the last 6 minutes. And then we're gonna baste it one final time when it hits the plate. All right, now it's again my favorite part of the day. We're going to finally taste this delicious air-fried char siu. So good, I'm so ready. And I've also laid out a plate setting just for you, Cosorians, so you can join me. Really hope you try to make this recipe at home because it's delicious and so simple. And all right, I've cut a little piece here, so I'm ready. I know normally we're not supposed to talk with our mouths full, but just so you understand how good it is, like, I'm salivating and it's so good. It's just such a classic taste. And you pair it with some rice. Am I making you hungry yet? And the cabbage, for a different texture, for its natural sweetness, and just put it all together. This is a classic dinner you would see in Taiwan or in China, and I just really hope you take it home and just try it because it's really yummy. And definitely if you're still on that meal prep grind, you can make this in advance and it could be an extra dish you can add to your routine. So I just want to say, Cosorians, thank you for joining me in making this classic char siu dinner. I want to know what your favorite style of barbecue is, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.